So those of you that have watched my channel for a while know that besides all of my big raised beds, I like to grow in those 20 and 30 gallon galvanized trash cans. Well, they're not exactly 20, they're like 22 and 32 or something like that. But anyways, I use them both, and I've already actually harvested quite a bit of stuff. I actually had an early tomato that I pulled out because it's done, it was a determinate, and did a bunch of onions, and I had done some peas and stuff. So I have quite a few of those cans that are unused now. So what I need to do is I need to replenish them. So I'll explain the steps that I use to fill them and then what I use to just replenish them. Right now, I'm just going to replenish them, but I'll go through the steps that I would do if I was actually filling up one that I haven't, that's brand new. Okay, so this can here, I pulled a tomato out of it, a determinate, a few days ago. And so it's ready to have something else planted in here. Now, I need to amend this, and I'll show you, I'll tell you how I do that in a minute, but I want to explain how I actually fill one of these cans to begin with. Now, I have a 3 base ingredients. So I take a wheelbarrow, and then I will put in, I use a 5-gallon bucket to measure, and I'll take 5 gallons of peat moss, a 5-gallon bucket of peat moss. Now you could use coconut coir. It's more pH balanced, but if I'm going to put tomatoes in here especially, they like the peat moss. And so I'll put 5 gallons of peat moss, 5 gallons of perlite, and then 5 gallons of compost. Now, if you think the perlite might be a little expensive, because sometimes it can get pretty costly, you could back off on it, maybe use half of that, and then just test it and see if the soil is aerated enough for you. So, but the beauty about it is that once you put it in here, you don't have to keep adding it. It doesn't use it up, so it doesn't go away. So once you put it in, it's done with. And then, so I've got those 3 base ingredients. Then I take a shovel full of worm castings. Now, I have worm beds, and so I have plenty of castings. But if you don't, I mean, I saw a bag for sale here. It was like $8 for a good-sized bag, so it's not that expensive. But you know, you could back off on that too a little bit, but you just play with this formula and see what works for you. So I'll just take a shovelful and throw it in there and mix it up well in the wheelbarrow. And then from those 4 ingredients, I have 3 more ingredients that I use. And then they are right here. Now, I like this Down to Earth brand, not because my local nursery carries it, but because I've been using it for a while and I like it. So I've got 3 of these ingredients. The first one here is rock phosphate. Now this is going to give you slow release phosphorus. And I'll take about a half a cup to a cup and put it in a wheelbarrow, mix it well with it. And then I'll take a half a cup to a cup of seaweed meal. Now this is the same as kelp meal. And this is going to give you your potassium and micronutrients. And then I'll take a half a cup to a cup of this gypsum. Now this is going to give you your calcium, and the beauty about this is it gives you the calcium without changing the pH. And so all 3 of those. And so once I've got those in the wheelbarrow, I mix them all up well, and then I fill this up. Now when it comes to amending them in the, you know, for the next round, now the tomato that I grew in here didn't use up all the nutrients, so I'm just going to go with like a quarter to a half a cup of each one of these, and then just play it by ear and then just watch it. But I think they'll do well. And so when I replenish this in the spring, usually I do it in the spring, I will just go ahead and put these 3 ingredients in, half a cup of each one of these to a cup, and then I will put in some more worm castings, probably a small shovelful, and then a little more compost. And then I don't work it in, I don't work it all the way down. I just work it into the first, like say, inch or 2. And then the reason being is because when I water this, the nutrients will seep down. So not a lot you have to do to replenish it. I just make sure that I've got plenty of these 3 ingredients here, and then the worm castings, and that's going to give me enough nutrients to carry it through most of the summer. Now, the determinate tomato I had in here, I didn't need to add anything to it. It did perfectly well for 2.5 months. But some of the bigger ones are probably going to need a little more food. Now I did a video here just recently on how I amend these beds and also these cans, and so I'll put a link below to that video. But yeah, you just, during the summer, all I have to do is add a little bit of, because these 3 ingredients in the boxes are slow release. I don't have to add those during the course of the summer. But a little bit of worm castings and maybe some compost. And that's all I do for these, and they do well. It carries them all the way through the summer. And so, yeah, to amend this, I'm just going to throw these half a cup of those in, and then some worm castings and maybe some compost, and it's done. And I can replant in this, and I'm good to go. So I've been using this formula here for about 3 years, and it works great. Now, those of you that have been watching my channel for any length of time know that I used to use chicken manure, composted chicken manure, and I've been trying to back away from all the manures and stuff. Like, well, only chicken manure is only really the one that I've used. Well, actually, worm castings is a manure, isn't it? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the chicken manure and and any of the animal stuff. I've just been kind of getting away from that. For one thing, it smells and it's nasty to work with, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. So I don't want any more manures on my property. I'm just not going to do that anymore. So this formula here I've been using for about 3 years, and it works great. This is just absolutely wonderful. It works better than anything that I've ever put on my plants before. So a lot of my friends around here that garden, they swear by Miracle-Gro. They say, you know what, if you want a good garden, Miracle-Gro is the way to go. Now, okay, I've never bought Miracle-Gro in my life, and I'm not promoting it. But they do get great results with Miracle-Gro. But the reason why I don't want to use it, I mean, I don't want to go on and on about it. I don't want to diss them. But the stuff that they use in there, the chemicals that they use in there, the fertilizers and whatnot, they stay in your soil. I don't think it makes for a healthy soil. I just don't want to go into all the reasons. But you can look it up. So I've never bought Miracle-Gro in my life. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a test. I decided that I was going to take my mix, my formula here, put it into one of the cans, and then take a bag of Miracle-Gro, or 2 bags, I think it was 2 bags, and fill up one of those cans and see the results. Now, it's the first time I've ever in my life bought Miracle-Gro, and it's the last time. But I want to show you the results that I got, a comparison between mine and Miracle-Gro. Okay, so first off, before I show you that, I wanted to show you this. This is a problem bed. I don't know what happened to this bed. I had 3 plants, 3 tomato plants, all the same in here. And they just would not grow. They were just stunted like this one here. This one should be twice as big as it is now. And it just, for some reason, something happened, and I don't know what's going on with this bed. So I decided the test that I was going to do with the Miracle-Gro and my mix, I decided I was going to take 2 of these, I had 3 of them in here, take 2 of these out and put them to the test. Now these are Big Zack tomato, so they should be much bigger than they are now. So I've kind of wasted a whole month of time waiting for them to recover. So let's go over and show you the cans. Before we do that, you know what? Don't be afraid to show your failures. Now this one here, this was supposed to be a northern variety called Glacier. This is not Glacier. What happened was I ran out of the Glacier seeds. I actually sold them all. And then I had like 5 seeds left, and somebody wanted to grow it. I thought, well, no problem. I'll just order some more online. I grow it all the time. I had plenty. It's the first time I ever ran out. I thought, no big deal. Everybody sells it. I bought Glacier, and this is what I got. This is not Glacier. Glacier is a single stem. It's stocky. This is wispy. They don't grow in clusters like this. And so don't be afraid to, say, well, that was a failure, because it happens all the time. So I'm going to have to reorder the Glacier again. And I only grow it because I like to grow it on the cusp of winter and spring. And so it's always done well for me. But this is not Glacier. Don't know what happened here. This is some anomaly. I'm not even going to save the seeds. I'm just going to save the tomatoes, and yeah, that's a wash. I want to show you another fail. Now, I know you want to get to the test results, and we will, but I wanted to show you this because I think it's important that you guys see the failures too. A lot of these people that have these YouTube channels, they're so braggadocious, and they just like, oh, look at this, how to grow this. They never show their failures, and they make it sound like they're the best growers on the planet. Well, the problem is that they're not. They have failures just like everyone else. They just don't show them. So don't assume that you're doing something wrong because you have failures and they're all doing it perfect. No, they have just as many failures as everyone else. They just don't show them to you. Now, this one here, I don't remember the name of it because I don't care. This one here doesn't like my climate, doesn't like my soil. There's something about here in Southern Oregon that it doesn't like. And so this plant is going away. Something hit it, some disease or something, and it's just not healthy, and I'm not going to waste my time with it. This plant is going to go away with all of my disease plant material, and I'm never going to grow it again. Now you're probably thinking, well, why don't you give it a second try? Here's the deal. There are thousands of tomato varieties. I don't need to waste my time with it. It doesn't like it here. It doesn't like me, doesn't like my environment, my soil, my property, whatever. I'm pulling it out today, and it's going away, and there's another fail. So no big deal. I've got plenty that I can grow. For instance, my Oregon Spring. My Oregon Spring loves it here. Okay, on to the test. Okay, so this here is the test. Now, both of these are the big Zacks that I pulled out of that bed back there. And they've been in here for about a month, and look how much better they are. This here's the Miracle Grow, and this here is my mix. Now, of course, my mix, the one over here, it looks like it's thicker and it's about the same height. Maybe this one's a little bit taller, but that could be just an anomaly. This one here, it looks like it's got more suckers. Like there's a sucker here, a sucker there. So yeah, there's like 3 huge suckers on this thing and not so much on this one. So it could just be, that's, you know, I don't say that this is better because there's more suckers, but it does seem like it's thicker as far as the stem goes. But both of them are doing incredibly well. So the Miracle Grow does do great for your plants. I'm not going to deny that, but mine does just as well as the Miracle Grow. So if you want a good mix that is slow release, that works well, just as well as Miracle Grow, then the mix that I just talked about, I think, is the way to go. But you could try it and see if it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, well, then you'll know. But I've been playing with this mix for quite a while, and it's, you know, well, not quite a while, a few years, and it seems to be working great. So there's my test, there's my mix, and let me know if you do try it. Let me know if it works for you, all right? Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell so you get notifications. All right, we'll catch you guys later.